Okay, I'm kind of nervous. Okay, here we go then. Hi, I'm Gabi. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Um, I haven't done this for a very long time, and this is the first time of me doing this in this setup that has been very nicely prepared for me by my partner Dan. So a big thank you to my partner. And well, I'm still really uncomfortable in front of a camera. I'm still very uncomfortable talking and hearing my voice and potentially seeing myself like I see myself there sometime. And if you've watched any of my videos before, you know that I do struggle with body dysmorphia and some other disorders, obviously BPD. That's why I started doing this. So it's still very hard for me to catch any glimpse of myself at all, and it's also very hard for me to hear my voice. It's very hard for me to hear my accent, and even if I didn't have an accent, it would be hard for me anyway. So all that is to say that this is basically the reason why I haven't been making videos that often, because I couldn't go past those limitations that are mental limitations. And life has been changing a lot. I'm going to give a life update in the end, like at the end of the video. So that's why it has taken me so long to do any of this. But the reason why I'm doing this back again, it's because of all the things that have been going on surrounding Amberlynn Reid and her chaotic, hectic life. I think Tommy taught her that word. Never heard her saying that word, not even close to how much she has repeated it in the last few videos. So she claims to have BPD. I'm not sure if she has been officially diagnosed. What I think that's going on with that, because she does show some behaviors that align with this disorder. But what I personally think, and this is speculation or nothing else, what I think that happened is that she probably got this off TikTok or some other platforms. She saw some behaviors that she maybe identified with, or she thought that for whichever reason it could be cool or it could be trendy, and she ran with it. That's what I think. Like, consciously or not, I think she molded herself to some of these behaviors of this disorder. And the thing with behaviors and symptoms of disorders is that you can exhibit the same behavior or the same symptom in different disorders. Or in my case, I struggle with different things, and sometimes it's hard to pinpoint what is causing the behavior or the symptoms. Like I have diagnosed BPD, I have diagnosed a generalized anxiety disorder, I have depression, clinical depression, PTSD, and sometimes it's hard to tell what is causing what, or for a very long time when I wasn't properly diagnosed, some people would call me bipolar because they thought that I was exhibiting behaviors that a bipolar person would. So that's why it's hard to tell in this case, and obviously I'm not entitled to diagnose or anything. This is all speculation, but this is what I think that happened. And that BPD has been very convenient to her to hide some of simply her awful awful way to treat people sometimes, or whatever, somehow it seems to be kind of a trendy disorder, even though there is nothing trendy, nothing good, nothing fashionable in this. I mean, it's I don't know, it's a trauma response, it's an awful disorder to live with, and it takes a lot of work to keep it under control. But I think that there is some charm to it in the aspect of the crazy pixie girl, the yandere girl that will do anything for you. That kind of representation, that kind of romanticizing, I think it fits Amber's idea of how she sees herself, like in her own head, better than, say, like a narcissistic person, that she has also been called that. She also shows some traits of that disorder, but somehow she distances herself from NPD, but aligns herself with BPD, and that is something that I do find interesting. And I think because it's in her head, it's more cool of a disorder, let's say. Not to say that she has it or not. It's what I think, or what I see in this. And what I also see again is that she uses this as an excuse. It's like a shield for whatever she does. It's like, oh, my BPD made me do it, or something like that, or I'm having a BPD moment, or what is actually called an episode. That sometimes she actually refers to that as an episode. Is the actual terminology. But when I was watching her live stream, like not directly from her channel, but from reaction channels, she was like, oh yes, my BPD, I have BPD and I did this and that. Or when she was talking to Alexis, to her friend or ex-friend, I don't know, I'm lost now, she was hiding herself behind that disorder. And then we came to understand that Alexis also has BPD. And I have never been a fan of Alexis, but what I want to say is that Alexis seems to take some responsibility for her own actions. And she said, yeah, I don't hide behind that disorder. And I thought that was really important to point out. That yes, it is hard to live with this disorder. Yes, you can be really very sensitive, overly sensitive. I know my emotions are through the roof, and it's very hard to regulate sometimes. But it's not a free pass to go and treating people like they're disposable, or like a doormat, or like trash. Basically, it's not an excuse for that. Or if someone criticizes you for some of your behaviors, it's not say, okay, my BPD made me do it. That might be true, but you also need to take responsibility for that. If you know that you have this disorder, as she seems to claim that she does, well, you know what you have to do. You have to go and take care of whatever is going on in your head, and you can only do that with therapy. As you probably know by now, and I have mentioned before, there is no pill or no medication for BPD. The only way to treat it, to manage the symptoms, is therapy. And she has mentioned during her live stream that she wanted to go to therapy, that Monday morning she was going to make an appointment or something like that. And that Monday has passed already. Today is the Tuesday following to that Monday now, and I haven't heard anything from her. I don't know if she has made an appointment or not, which I think it seemed a bit performative, or maybe just to keep people quiet, because many people who are actually concerned or just fed up with her behaviors have told her, okay, go to therapy. The famous Zachary Michael has also been, trying to bring awareness to the topic and say, okay, go to therapy. So that's my biggest thing, that I think that BPD is being used as an excuse, and it's hard because I see this kind of representation, and I feel it's kind of hurtful, because what do we see of people who are actually who are kind of famous on YouTube, whatever you want to call it. We have Amber claiming that she has BPD and behaving in the most awful ways. She has treated her partners awfully. She keeps on living recklessly and, engaging of some risky behaviors and claiming it's all her BPD. Then we have Life Plus Cindy, who actually, she was an inspiration for me to start this channel, and, I could see myself reflected on Cindy somehow. I could identify with many of the things she was going through. I'm also divorced. I think she's not legally divorced now, but separated. But I was going through a very nasty divorce at the moment, where she was having her issues with her husband and all the craziness going on. Then like all the trauma that she went through, I also went through awful trauma of all possible kinds. And I said, okay, it was an inspiration for me when she was going to therapy. She was doing her like the workbook and stuff, but then she kind of quit therapy and she started again to not take accountability for her actions, blame for BPD for everything, and being overly sensitive when people criticize her. And kind of the same Amber behavior. Anyone who criticizes you is a hater. I don't think that's right. Sometimes people criticize you, like, who actually are rooting for you and who are concerned for you or who want to give you some valued feedback. And sometimes the haters criticize you and they might be right. And that's also something that is worth noting, that I don't see it very often. And I think in the Amber case, it's something that I think is worth noting, that people who were digging into her now new girlfriend's past, Tommy and everything, they dig up some information that I think it is concerning. And if she listened to these people, she could potentially, get out of a really bad situation before even getting started. But she's not willing to listen to anyone unless they align 100% with whatever she wants to hear. And that's unfortunate. Massive cup of iced coffee. Cold brew coffee, actually. Anyway, that is all I have to say for now regarding Amber and the behaviors I've been seeing online, and why I wanted to offer a different perspective, because I felt like the people we have now kind of representing BPD, not because they necessarily want to carry the flag of BPD, but it's the people you associate with the disorder when you hear the BPD word. They are not doing a great job. In the sense of representing someone who wants to actually get better and feel better and not hurt others, even if you have this disorder. So there's that for now. And now I wanted to give a little of a life update, because lots has been going on in my life since my last video. From what I recall, my last video was quite sad. Or when I started this channel, I was going through a lot, and it was a way for me to basically survive and to stay alive, to stay kind of sane. I went through DV myself and other kinds of abuse, and I was transitioning like from that very traumatic experience to a new life, and not knowing how to move forward, not knowing how to go on, not knowing exactly what to do. And that is when I started my channel, as a way to keep me sane, as a way to also spread some awareness. things have gotten much better since. And now I'm in a happy, healthy relationship, as I have mentioned before. I have mentioned my partner Dan several times, and chances are that if you are watching this video, you know exactly who Dan is, because we met through my videos. Actually, we met through the narc alert community. So if you're watching this video, probably you also watch the narc alert, and you know exactly who Dan is, because he's a very active member of that community. So there's that. Everything is going fantastic in that sense. I am very aware of my BPD behaviors, and I have done therapy, and quite a lot of it. The only reason why I'm not doing therapy now is because I cannot afford it at the moment, and I'm actually right now in the UK, so I'm not entitled to therapy right now, and I cannot afford it out of pocket. But I've done lots of work, and I am very self-aware, which sometimes it feels like a curse, you know, like a burden. Sometimes you see your own behaviors and you cannot stop, and it hurts. But I've done so much work that I feel like at this point I can catch some of my most problematic behaviors, like regarding attachment issues, or like this hypersensitivity that I have, that sometimes I feel hurt for like the tiniest of reasons, and I understand that, and I feel overwhelmed, and I feel like that volcano inside of me building up, but I catch it right before it erupts, and I go directly to Dan, and I just tell him, hey, I'm feeling this, or I'm feeling overwhelmed, or I feel like I want to cry because of this, or I know you didn't mean to hurt me with this, but I feel hurt. So in that way I know that I'm communicating my feelings clearly, and open communication helps a lot, like not assuming always the worst, or being very aware that what I'm feeling may not align with reality, even though my feelings are completely valid, because they are my feelings. But still, the other person very likely is not trying to hurt me. That's one thing. The other thing is that, as I said, I went through awful amount of trauma, and I still carry this with me, and sometimes I cry, and I cry a lot, and I found that like just not suppressing those emotions helps a lot. If I have to cry, I have to cry, and if I have to tell my partner that I need to cry, I feel bad, I need space, or sometimes I have flashbacks, sometimes I cannot sleep, I have nightmares, whatever that might be, I feel like not trying to hide it, and not trying to carry it all by myself, it helps a lot, and I'm really hoping that eventually I can do therapy again, because I'm not cured. I'm not magically cured. It's something that I need to keep on working on, and I really hope that as soon as possible I can resume therapy. There's that. As for the future of this channel, again, I'm very thankful to my partner, because he's the one helping me like with the setup. He's going to help me with some basic editing, while at this point I cannot edit my videos, because I have this mental blockage that to edit my videos I have to at least watch them back, and at this point I can't, and it's totally a mental blockage. And you say, okay, Gabby, maybe you don't even need to show yourself on camera, and that's right, I don't even need to, but I want to, because I want to overcome that. And I think that it can be also helpful for people in my same situation, that there is nothing wrong with me. I am who I am, I look how I look, I sound how I sound, and that's okay. The only the only other thing is that I am on a weight loss and fitness journey, because I've gained a lot of weight through all my, like, the toxicity that I was going through. And one unfortunate experience actually with what Tommy is accused of being, I was in one of those situations totally unwillingly. So I was being fed food that I didn't want to eat. I didn't have the freedom to go out of the apartment anytime I wanted, to go for a walk or to whatever. And that's a whole other kind of worms. But it led me to a lot of this extra weight that I carry now. And that's another of those things that, for me, seeing myself right now, seeing myself with the extra weight and everything, it's a reminder of how painful life was all this time for me. And I'm working on it. And I am again on a weight loss journey. I have lost weight since January. It's a modest amount of weight, but it's stable, and I have gone down in sizes. So there is probably also some sort of body recomposition going on. So I'm on the right path, and I'm planning to just do some updates here and there. I'm planning to do videos like this weekly if possible. I will learn to edit myself. Probably I will learn to edit through Dan's videos, that he has his own channel that will be linked in the description box anyway. And eventually I'll be able to edit my own videos and insert clips and all that to make it more interesting, to make it more appealing. And then some more blog kind of stuff. I think that could be interesting and fun, and maybe bring you along. Like, I'm in a new country, I'm experiencing exciting things, going on walks, going out in nature. I think all that can be really interesting to show, and I want to show it as part of my life. This is not just BPD, but how a person with BPD goes through life and lives life, and in the most fulfilling way possible, and in the healthiest way possible, both physically and mentally. I want to be healthy, and that's my goal and the direction that I want my channel to go in for now. And well, that's all that I have to say for now. Thank you so much for watching. It means a lot, and it means a lot to all these people who have been watching me from the very beginning, when I was just, holding my phone in a horrible environment and without proper equipment, without knowing how to edit or anything, and you've been watching me anyway. I appreciate that, and I hope little by little you will see the growth, both of me as a person and as a content creator. That would be fantastic. So thank you for being there, thank you for spending some time with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.